If you look closely at these satellite images and drone footage, you'll discover that very faintly you can see a line emerge. Yes, you guessed it, and maybe you won't even believe it, but the infamous line is now under construction. This video essay will discuss the core reasons why the line is expected to fail miserably, and it will probably go down as one of the most expensive man-made failures in history. More than a year ago, Neom unveiled The Line, an ambitious megacity project igniting global intrigue with its revolutionary urban concept set in the heart of Saudi Arabia. In a nutshell, The Line challenges traditional city norms, inviting us to question if a linear city design could transform our urban lifestyles, or potentially make it possible to live in a dystopian future. Let's untangle its pledges, propaganda, and impact, starting with the discussion of the vision. Line proposes a never-before-seen city spanning across 170 kilometers, 500 meters tall, and 200 meters wide, accommodating 9 million residents while reportedly preserving 95% of the site's nature. The city targets a population density of around 260,000 people per square kilometer. There's no city in the world with this population density. The population density of Dhaka is one of the highest in the world, estimated to be about 44,000 people per square kilometer, as well as in this city in the Philippines, it's estimated to be about 43 people per square kilometer. Residential areas, workplaces, schools, medical facilities, and commercial spaces are strategically positioned along a linear path. In section, the line is broken into 3 distinct levels. The pedestrian level is at the top, followed by a service zone, and then the central spine at the base, which has a high-speed rail line. By situating essential services within walking distance, the line promises enhanced walkability, reduced congestion, lowers carbon emissions from daily function. But one wonders if the high initial cost of the project, both financial and environmental, is worth it in the long term. Or are people's predictions that this will quickly become a dystopian abandoned city project come true? So starting off with the positive aspects and intentions, the Line project encapsulates an admirable instinct towards addressing challenges proposed by rapid urbanization, and really has not been implemented at this scale before. AI is expected to create a seamless and technologically integrated urban experience, enhancing efficiency and resource management and improving residents' quality of life. The linear designs focus on preserving open spaces and reducing the ecological footprint, also aligns with principles of sustainable development. While the project's ambitious goals and innovative concept have generated a lot of excitement, there are several drawbacks that need to be discussed. Some major problems include design flaws, environmental impact, even the marketing of this project. The site for the line has significant design implications, cutting through both the desert and the mountainous terrain. The challenge lies in the disruption of the natural landscape. The process itself could lead to habitat destruction, alteration of ecosystems, and potentially the loss of biodiversity. The linear city development necessitates significant grading, excavation, and land modification, which could have ecological consequences. From a more architectural point of view, the line's concept presents flaws in its form. Dramatic distribution, characterized by essential services along a single axis, will limit the diversity of experiences. The line is also 500 meters tall. I truly don't see any reason for this massive height. It seems functionally inefficient, and the nearby surface temperatures are bound to heat up due to the mirror glass facade. With surface temperatures beyond boiling point in this region, the mirror glass facade will further heat the region. And how will this proposed passive cooling system work in the line with this inoperable mirror glass facade? Unbroken line will also limit animal migration toward the Red Sea. The note of ecology, though, I also want to mention the renders feature lush gardens with leafy species that are not indigenous to the area. One wonders how light gets to the deeper levels of the project to actually help these plants thrive. And also, do the designers know that importing plants and seeds is ecologically dangerous? I guess not. The technology needed to support high-speed rail lines does not exist yet. You'll come to find that the train has to travel 511 kilometers per hour. At the time of this recording, The Shanghai Transrapid is the fastest operating passenger train, reaching the maximum operating speed of 460 kilometers per hour. Let's talk about the environmental impact. Developing a massive new city, even with sustainability goals, could heavily impact the environment. Construction, resource consumption, and infrastructure could lead to habitat loss, resource depletion, and increased waste. The project is estimated to cause 1.8 billion tons of carbon emissions, and it's substantial when compared to global emissions. So for context, the annual global CO2 emissions from all sources, including energy, transportation, and industry, totals around 36 billion tons. Countries like China, the United States, and India emit several billions of tons annually. The United Kingdom, for reference, emits about 350 to 400 million tons. Achieving full carbon neutrality and offsetting this initial emissions will span decades or centuries. Critics are skeptical about the project's claims of being sustainable, and this is called greenwashing. In the past, some projects in the AEC industry have exaggerated their eco-friendliness to look more responsible. Here are 5 things I want you to consider. First, the sheer scale of creating a whole city requires a lot of resources. This includes material usage. Concrete will be the primary building material. Concrete and Portland cement production entail substantial carbon emissions. This process alone accounts for 8% of global annual CO2 emissions. Even though they claim that they're going to be using green concrete, it doesn't get much better. Second, Neom is in a desert region where water is scarce. With advanced water tech, ensuring reliable water supply for such a big population is tough. Claim that they will be using desalination plants, and although they're a fantastic idea in theory, they have historically been unsuccessful. Plus, there's no fresh water sources near to the site. Third, a new city must stay sustainable over time by adapting to changes, new technologies, and what people need. Flexibility affects the long-term success of any project. So how does the line adapt over time? Do you build up? Can you build out? Do you build parallel? I don't know. Fourth, though the line wants to save nature, its existence and building process could still hurt local ecosystems and wildlife. The facade design feels unoptimized, which present significant operational loads on the building. Mirrored glass facades offer benefits such as light reflection and natural illumination, yet specific contexts like the line, it raises issues. Mirrored surfaces often pose a threat to birds who collide with glass due to misperceived reflections. The facade also influences heating and cooling loads on the building. Achieving efficient natural ventilation poses challenges within the desert's extreme conditions. The natural ventilation hinges on external airflow for indoor cooling. Now let's talk about the social displacement and social implications. Displacement of local communities such as the Huwaitat tribe and lacking considerations for their needs and rights are significant problems. And to be completely frank, Saudi Arabia doesn't have the best track record in terms of protecting human rights. Additionally, the source of the projected 9 million residents for the line remains unclear, leaving questions about population migration. Essentially, why are they even building it in the first place? More on that in a moment. The social implications of the project's linear design are really complex. The absence of traditional city centers could lead to social isolation, reduce community interactions. The focus on technology could enhance convenience, but might also limit autonomy if over-reliance occurs. While the project proposes to be a harmonious balance between technology and nature, the realization of the vision isn't guaranteed. Concerns surrounding the line's reliance on advanced technologies like AI, automation, and robotics are substantial, revealing potential vulnerabilities like technical breakdowns and cyber attacks, which could potentially disrupt crucial services and security. The algorithmic analysis of that data might lead to profiling and targeting, stifling dissent, and encouraging self-censorship. Lack of transparency and accountability in such systems could enable misuse of power, eroding human rights, and fostering a climate of constant fear. Now let's talk about why they are building this in the first place. Amid the global shift away from oil-based economies, the nation is actively exploring alternative avenues for economic stability, with a special focus on tourism. By strategically incorporating a robust tourism sector within the line, Saudi Arabia seeks to draw global travelers for leisure, business, and cultural experiences. The project aims to create iconic landmarks, entertainment hubs, world-class amenities to entice tourists, thereby diversifying revenue streams and positioning Saudi Arabia as a hub of innovation. Financially, the ability to secure funding on this multi-billion or honestly trillion-dollar endeavor, failure to do so will lead to its abandonment. Saudi Arabia actually has a history of proposing ambitious projects that are ultimately left unfinished, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the line's realization. Saudi Arabia's abandoned building history includes the grand megacity, such as the King Abdullah Economic City and the Jabal Omar project in Mecca, which was characterized by an ambitious proposal which met significant delays and challenges. Sound familiar yet? In this backdrop, concerns about the potential abandonment of the line are warranted, and I'd like to argue extremely likely. The project will cost billions and trillions of dollars. It's very easy to build a portion of this proposal and abandon the rest. Now let's say they even build the whole thing. Who's to say it's not the most dystopian environment ever? If it is, will it be abandoned? If so, all this money, work, and the environmental cost was for nothing. Concept of a linear city with its centralized control and seamless technological integration all allude to the fact that the line will create an oppressive environment. This notion prompts us to delve into the idea that urban planning could lead to a controlled society, echoing themes found in dystopian literature and films. So consider the dystopian classic like George Orwell's 1984 and Huxley's Brave New World, which explores societies where choices are limited and individuality is suppressed and surveillance is omnipresent. Films like Blade Runner and Metropolis depict urban landscapes marked by towering structures, hierarchies, and a sense of detachment. The form itself is oppressive. Contemplating the potential of the line to be oppressive by design, although still speculative, prompts us to question whether a city with predetermined routes, minimal choices, and advanced surveillance technologies could inadvertently diminish personal agency in favor of collective control. While acknowledging these cautionary notions, it's also important to recognize that the success of the line hinges on the intentions of the creator, which brings me to my last point. Marketing on this project poses and promises wild dreams. The renderings of the interior and exterior are beautiful. The presentations presented by the royal family and Neom are stunning. It's presented in a way that makes you want to live there. Now, you might have seen the new video released from Neom, and it shows other angles of the project. The music's inspirational, the visuals stunning. They use a lot of keywords to make it sound like a incredible project. Hot phrases like unprecedented livability, creating a legacy. Hearing these phrases mixed with really nice film score really makes you excited. And they even invited American futurologist and Professor Kau, did I say that right, to explore this proposal in their headquarters, walk around the models, and talk to the placemakers behind line. I watched this and I laughed because it felt like I was consuming propaganda. While the aim of creating a sustainable, technologically advanced city is commendable on paper, the line's problems still go unaddressed after a year since it was first presented. There are worries about sustainability, privacy, and autonomy. In the video that they just released, that professor asked, is this project sustainable? And if you caught it, is a redirected answer where the urban design executive director, Tariq Quadumi, Neom itself is a 100% renewable energy and stated all of their renewable energy resources. It's fantastic that they are using renewable energy resources, but if you caught it, they themselves cannot confirm that it is sustainable. They can only say that the project runs on sustainable energy. Yes, that's a fact, but architects, developers, climate scientists, and all other experts around the globe can agree that this is in fact not a sustainable project. And the initial video released by Neom also showed familiar places for Westerners. So for instance, they took Manhattan's footprint and put all the geometry in a line. But just remember that this is a tactic to create a sense of familiarity and comfort to its viewers. Therefore, it seems less radical and less oppressive. Fundamentally, it's a good idea. Preserving 95% of the existing nature is awesome. Living in a carless world also sounds really nice. There are major concerns that I've outlined in this video, leading me to believe that this too will end up abandoned. Striking a balance between ambition and realism, Neom must navigate these challenges carefully to ensure that its utopian vision translates into a sustainable and harmonious reality. As the world watches the development of the line, it serves as a reminder of the complexities inherent in reimagining urban living. Now I have to ask you, do you think it's going to work out? Or do you think this is going to end up being a $1 trillion vanity project? If you liked this video, please be sure to check out my video essay on the death of malls in America.